I want to go back to the fact that Attorney General Eric Holder spoke at your church, and I asked, why do you think he did not prosecute the members of the new Black Panther Party for voter intimidation? And your response was what?
Yes, Reverend. No, I basically was saying that I don't know all the facts of the case, but I do know that, I saw a headline or two about it. But basically, you're talking about a handful of people, probably less than 100, who may have tried to influence an election. And I think if so, then they would have been arrested. But you got to compare that with the thousands upon thousands of intimidations that go on around the country, where majority people have set up systems to keep African Americans and others from getting to the polls. I live in Washington, D.C. I mean, a large majority Congress refuses to give us voting rights. Now, so, to me, a few guys in leather jackets trying to be thugs doesn't compare to the kind of power to influence elections that come from the majority culture.
I noticed that most, if not all, but most black preachers don't seem to be honest or unwilling to be honest about black Americans, in that, they seem to put the blame somewhere else or elsewhere about their lack of morality, their hatred of the white man. They're blaming others for their problems, and you're doing the same thing. How is it possible to be called by God and can't be honest or won't be honest about why most blacks are in the conditions that they're in?
Well, Reverend, that's an interestingly pejorative way to put it. I certainly would not agree with you that I'm being dishonest. I'm certainly agreeing with you that you and I see it very differently. I respect your opinion, but I certainly don't think you're a dishonest man because you disagree with what I'm saying. But I think we have to just look at the fact that people come at things very differently. Republicans and Democrats come at things very differently. Middle-class folk and rich people.
I know, but I expect the politicians to lie and to be dishonest, to put the blame, because most of them want power and wealth, so they're not going to be up truth. But ministers who are supposed to be representing truth, it's not about political parties, whether you are conservative or liberal or Democrat or Republican. It's about telling the truth, because it's a truth that's going to make the people free. And that's what Dr. King was about. He was about truth. But I don't see that in most black preachers anymore. They're not about truth when it comes to dealing with black Americans.
Yeah, well, again, I respectfully disagree. Let me ask you, Reverend, you say truth. Is it true that for nearly 400 years African people were enslaved in this country? Is that true or not?
That is true, but okay, that's over now. Let me finish the response. That's over.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's over now. And prior to the civil rights movement and the takeover of the so-called black leadership, black Americans still had a higher standard of living. They respected what was right for the most part. They got married. They didn't have abortions for the most part. And so, the past is over and gone. We need to deal with the present. And
well, but Reverend, if I might just jump in, is that true? I mean,
yes, it is.
Would you also agree that for those 400 years, African American people did not earn a penny for their work?
No, it's
what
not.
What happened to all that money?
There were times when they didn't earn money, but there were times when they did earn money. And they still had a sense of respect about themselves. And so when you have preachers saying that, well, they're doing this because of what they didn't have, it's just ridiculous to blame the lack of material things on the lack of values.